My brief opening remarks is go Dogs.
Okay, we are going to go to questions now. First question, we'll go right here in the second row on the end, and then we'll go to the middle.
Josh Rowe, WTVC in Chattanooga. Tell us about this defense. The headline we see is lost 8 starters from last year's squad. What do you see when you see this defense?
I see a bunch of young guys that fly around and just excited to learn football, excited to be under Coach Smart. I mean, he done it for 10, 12 years at Bama, being a great DC. And I just think that's the ultimate reason why I also came back, is to, being able to learn from him and just take every day in as you can, one step at a time, and be where your feet are. That's another thing that we learn.
Second row, right here in the middle.
Anthony Patterson with the Atlanta Voice. Of course, you just talked about the reason you decided to come back to Georgia. How much of a role, you talked about, I think, your mother and Kirby. What other factors played into coming back, and what are you most excited about this season to work on?
It's my last year, and a lot of people, say what I'm most excited about. I'm most excited about just being able to work out. Those summer workouts that we get, I know a lot of friends now, they got to go to facilities and pay to work out, and I just get to work out for free, and I'm excited. I got 6 more months, and I get emotional thinking about it just because I'm a senior, and I played 4 years at Georgia, and I love this university.
To your right, third row.
Cody Chaffetz, Fox 5 Atlanta. Do they just give you a whistle at this point? You become Coach Nolan, and how do you bring it every day and get these guys up even days when you don't want to bring it?
I just say I love the game, and I just love being a student of the game and learning under Coach Smart. I mean, he has numerous first-round picks, and not even talking about the ones that he just had at Georgia. Just being able to learn under him, Coach Muschamp, Coach Schumann. I've done it for 3 years, and this is my last year, so I'm going to try to make the most of it. And no, they don't hand me no whistle. I work every day, and I try to lead by example.
We'll stay on the right side, third row.
Coming off a national championship, how do you guys stay hungry and are focused on still getting better and just not becoming complacent?
Humility. And I just think that's one of the big things that we took last year, and the moving step forward was connect with your brother and be humble. Don't have no egos. And that's another thing. The past is your ego. We can't control last year. We can't do anything on last year. We can only look forward and be where our feet exactly are now.
Right side, second row.
Hey, man, Ben Bobick, Local 3 in Chattanooga. Ladd McConkey seems to be the definition of a bulldog, man. How does he push this team, your defense in particular, and have you seen him grow into a leader on this football team?
He push our defenses, and I wouldn't even say our defense. I say push our secondary every day in, day out. Summer 7-on-7s. Him and A.D. Mitchell are flying. I was just telling someone earlier, they're running 22 miles an hour, just jogging. Post routes, skinny posts, skinny seams, them and Stetson, they're just, I think, electric. Electric on the field, electric off the field. They have a connection, and you can see it.
In the back, in the aisle, to the left.
Lance McCurley, Liquid County News. We know about Nolan. We know about you, other guys on the defensive line like Zion Logue. But how were some of those guys progressing, like Nazir Stackhouse, Pop, Tyrion Ingram Dawkins, and Jonathan Jefferson and Warren Brinson?
Yeah, I just say a lot of people have worked in front of them, just like myself. Like, I seen Aziz work in front of me for 2 years, and I just watched under him and just kept working, and you see someone else do it, so you know what it takes. They watch Jordan Davis and Vontae Wyatt work day in and day out on the small things, the footsteps, the right steps, the make sure you get across his face, and all those type of things that associate themselves with D-line. And once you see someone else do it, you can do it yourself.
Back row on the aisle again.
Wes Steiner with AL.com. Just in your opinion, what's the toughest stadium you've had to play in other than your own?
Jordan-Hare. I think Auburn, a lot of people sleep on Auburn. When you go in Jordan-Hare, you better be ready to play football. And I just remember my freshman year going into Jordan-Hare, and it was a tight game, and Trayvon Walker got that last sack. I still get goosebumps thinking about that.
Back row again on the right.
Maria Martin, 11 Alive here in Atlanta. Earlier when Cedric was telling us that the person that gets Kirby Smart to laugh the most is you, I didn't get to ask you how you do that, so how do you?
you know, you got to joke back and forth with Coach Smart, and he's serious the whole time, but the way you get him to laugh is in practice. You know, defense make a good play, and he's usually always hard on us. I tell people, like, we're the oldest brother. Like, he expects more from us, and when we have a couple good plays in a row, I start joking with him, and he'll start smiling and stuff, and people just see it on the field. But I just practice. You know, practice is hard, but practice is also fun. That's one thing that I try to encourage people. Like, we know practice is hard, but how about we make it fun as well?
We'll go to the left on the back row and then pass the microphone to your left.
Dan Peck, ESPN 106.7 in Auburn. You mentioned Jordan-Hare as one of your favorite places to play on the road in the SEC. You have a chance to finish your college career without losing to Auburn if you guys can win this next one. What would that mean to go your entire career without losing an installment of the Deep South's oldest rivalry?
Like I'm telling you, I'm being where my feet are now. We're aware about Auburn, and when we get to Auburn, but we know they always have a good team. They always put up a good fight, and they're always well coached and always ready to play, and especially in Jordan-Hare.
Stay on the back row to your.
Hey, Nolan, Jordan Chambers, WFF in Huntsville. So some of the guys were talking about the biggest difference between last season and the other seasons in the past was the buy-in. Is there anything in particular that you credit this to?
No, I say the buy-in is key. Once you have a bunch of guys that buy in and start pulling the rope in the same direction, as we say metaphorically, is you get a lot of guys want to pull that rope in that same direction, and a lot of guys telling people, hey, man, that's not right. This is the right thing to do. This is the way to do things. This is the way we do things at Georgia.
2 questions. First over here on the end, third row.
Hey, Nolan, Rex Castillo out of WRBL in Columbus, Georgia. So a lot of questions were about the quarterback position last season. I know it was a pretty serious battle, but what Stetson did, it seems like it's clearly his team. What has he done this time around to take his game to the next level?
I think from being a more vocal leader, a more him demanding from offense and defense, because we know in the game that sometimes offense down, we pick them up, and sometimes we down, they pick us up. And I just say that he demands as a leadership role. You can tell when 7-on-7, he's telling us, hey, y'all had a bad day, or we did this better, or we can do better. So I think Stetson is being more vocal and taking on his leadership role, and people see him as a quarterback.
Final question, back row on the aisle.
We saw a bull down in Milledgeville get not a parade, but he went back and visited. We saw Stetson go back to Pierce County and have a parade. Did you do anything special in Savannah?
Oh, yeah, I did a kids camp. I had about 250 kids come out. My kids camp was free. I passed out about 300 book bags and hot dogs and hamburgers, because, you know, sometimes most people don't know during the summer when your mom and stuff is at work, you got to fend for yourself on food. And I just took a big thing in making my community better and just being that vocal point in the community and trying to turn it around, to tell kids it's more than life than TikTok and doing all this stuff indoors, or even the kids that are outdoors shooting guns and stuff. I just want us to be better.
Nolan, thank you very much.
Thank you.